You know, I had a previous take of this video, talking all about Hulk, even though you're supposed to be looking at Captain America here. So why was I talking all about Hulk in a Captain America movie? Probably because I have nothing to say about Captain America, the First Avenger. This is a solid entry. It's not excellent, it's not bad. It's got really solid casting, but it's not excellent casting, except for maybe Chris Evans and Hugo Weaving. They are excellent as Captain America and the Red Skull, respectively. They are great casting. I would say that, for Phase 1, I've said it in a previous video, I've said it in a previous video, but, in regards to Phase 1's characters, the heroes are perfect. Iron Man is perfect casting. Thor is perfect casting. Captain America is perfect casting. Though they did, the best villain of Phase 1 was clearly Loki, right? Loki was clearly the best of Phase 1. Obadiah was blah. Hammer was funny, but Whiplash was Red Skull was okay. He was okay, but this is World War II. Explaining how Red Skull shows up in modern day would probably be tough, though they did show him in Infinity War long down the line. But that's neither here, that's there. But this is a stepping stone movie because it comes out right before Avengers. This is to introduce you to Captain America because he's part of the Avengers Initiative. So when Avengers first starts, you need to know who he is. So this is the movie that they make for that. It's there to make some money while they're working on Avengers. I have only seen this movie twice. Once on cable and once on this Blu-ray disc here. And I guess I will explain why you're looking at a Blu-ray disc and not the actual case. It's because we got this in a 4K pack with the Blu-ray disc. I got the Blu-ray disc, and they got the 4K. So, I walked away with something for free. So, hey, But, that's why you're only seeing the Blu-ray disc. I have a bunch of the Marvel Phase 3 movies on Blu-ray disc only, so yeah, whatever. Doesn't really matter. It's the movies. It's still the movie. It's still. So there's that. And as you can see, Paramount is still there. I do not know exactly when Disney buys Marvel, and I prefer not to look it up because I'd like to keep being surprised by how many sequels Paramount's logo is on. So I'm not going to spoil myself on when Disney buys Marvel to erase that Paramount logo. I'm going to keep, I'm going to keep being surprised when I see it, What happens in this movie? Well, Captain America shows up as Captain America after Act 1, Part 1. In the first act, he is not Captain America. He's just a skinny boy soldier man who shows a lot of heart and a lot of determination too. He's got a selfless heart. He's got a lot of good qualities about him, but he's scrawny. So they bring him in for the Super Soldier Project, and Howard Stark's there. Howard Stark and Peggy Carter. Yeah. So Peggy Carter's the love interest, Howard Stark is the sidekick, I guess. So he becomes Captain America after the Super Serum Soldier Project happens, and he becomes the marketing campaign for the American war effort. He has a little Spec Ops type team, but he's basically just going out there to be filmed. He's doing a lot of marketing and ad campaign stuff. This isn't exactly what he wanted. He wanted to be out there on the front lines fighting the good fight, but the marketing campaign manager guy says, hey, this is a form of fighting the good fight. You are inspiring the nation, which is allegorical to the character's creation. I believe that Captain America was created to be a marketing campaign type of character. His stories were focused around World War II. I believe he was created around the time of World War II, so it fits in with the timeline. It fits with the character, the timeline, all of that. So I like that they talk about that in the movie. I like that they talk about his marketing and how he's feeling unfulfilled, how he wants to be out there in the war effort. And then he eventually gets out there in the war effort when he starts to fight Hydra. He played Hugo Weaving playing Red Skull. He's good villain. He's a really good villain. I would say he's the second best villain in the Phase 1. He is below Loki, but he's above everybody else. And I want to say that while I consider Hulk part of the MCU, I will not be doing a retrospective video about him. That's probably because the Ruffalo Hulk doesn't exactly have his own solo movie either. So I'll be talking about Hulk during other videos. So like for this one, let's talk about Hulk. Like I said, my previous take was talking mostly about Hulk. So I wanted to talk more about Captain America first, then talk a little bit about Hulk. So there we go. Hulk, we have two movies with Hulk. We have the Eric Bana one, and we have the Norton one. The Norton one is the technically canon one, because in the post-credit scene, Tony Stark shows up, and that's really all they do to confirm that it's part of the MCU. I would argue that the Eric Bana one fits more for the canon, so to speak, because the Eric Bana movie ends with Banner out there in the third world jungle country, which is where you find Hulk, Banner, in Avengers. So I like that they did that. I like that they ended him there and they pick him up at the same place, roughly. So that's why I consider the Bana movie to be considered part of the origin story for Hulk, even though they can't really use a solo Hulk movie, Marvel, because Universal owns the rights to Hulk. And they still do. So those are the two holdouts, characters-wise. Universal has Hulk, and Sony has Spider-Man. And all of their villains and characters besides. That's why Sony is making their own Spider-Man cinematic universe. With Venom, Venom 2, Morbius, they're probably going to make a Sinister Six movie. But they're really pushing it, but they're doing decent. I think they're going to bring Andrew Garfield back for Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 3, and that would be interesting to see if Garfield agrees to do that. Either way, I'm getting off topic again, but that is Captain America, the First Avenger. And it's a stepping stone movie. We have the character introduced, we have the Tesseract introduced, and we have both of them going into the ice at the end of the movie to be found in Avengers. And they're both going to be major plot focuses of the Avengers. Red Skull just vanishes. He shows back up in Infinity War, way out there. But otherwise, nothing else happens here of merit outside of Bucky vanishing. His death is not confirmed, because in the sequel to Captain America, he shows up as the Winter Soldier. So he's another super soldier person. But yeah, there's not too much I can say about this. It's a stepping stone movie. This is the movie that comes out before the big one that they want you to see, but they're setting up a character here. The Thor movie feels like they're not just trying to set him up. That by contrast, that movie doesn't feel like they're just trying to set Thor up for Avengers. They're just trying to make a Thor movie. And I liked that. And the sequel, Iron Man 2, just felt like an Iron Man sequel. It didn't feel like they're just setting him up for Avengers. Although the Nick Fury stuff does feel like they're trying to do that, but he was denied the Avengers thingamajiggy at the end of that movie, so Iron Man was accepted, but Tony Stark was failed. So there's that, But hey, who cares? They're all stepping stones in some way, shape, or form. After Phase 1, it just gets really product line, assembly line, though Phase 2 is pretty solid. I would say Phase 2 is still pretty solid. Phase 3 is still but we'll get there. While I have the Eric Bana Hulk movie, I'm not going to be making a separate video about that, because like Captain America, I just don't have too much to say about it. It's a movie. You watch it, you learn about the character. And, I did like Eric Bana's performance as Hulk. As Banner, especially, because there's the way that Eric Bana depicts Banner's face after he gets injected with the greeny green stuff. His eyes, his eyes show somebody who is just on that edge at all times, and I really like that the way he shows his eyes in that movie. It's a really good level of acting that shows off a character that's always on edge to be angry, and the anger is what sparks Hulk to show up and all that stuff. Most of the other stuff is kind of forgettable, but I liked Eric Bana's performance, if anything. And that's what you could say about this. While most of the movie is pretty forgettable, you like Chris Evans' performance as Captain America. That's the consistent thing about most of these Marvel movies, is that you do end up liking the superhero character, the main character. Now, there are some exceptions to this, especially in Phase 3 and 4, but at least for now, the main characters are the main pull. You want to watch Captain America for Chris Evans. You don't want to watch Captain America for, say, Agent Carter and Howard Stark and all that other stuff. No, you're coming here to see Chris Evans, and he does do his job well. He does it excellent. It's perfect casting. He is a great draw to draw you into the movie, to draw you into the story. You're following Chris Evans into the movie, and you enjoy Red Skull, and you enjoy their adversarial complexatorialness, and it's fine. It's a fine movie, just like the Eric Bana Hulk movie is a fine movie. They're good stepping stones to get you to where you need to be for Avengers, which is going to be the big crossover that's going to come next in this retrospective. So stay tuned to that.